In the early months of 1945, the city of Spokane was yearning for the return of professional wrestling. The sport had been absent since May of 1941, its disappearance mirroring the broader challenges of the era: wartime struggles, internal conflicts within the State Athletic Commission, and a lack of talent willing to make the trek to Spokane. But change was on the horizon. A glimmer of hope emerged as the Washington State Athletic Commission met to discuss reviving both boxing and wrestling. One man carried that news back to Spokane: Thomas "Hat" Freeman. The sport of grunt and groaners was on the verge of making a triumphant return. To lead this comeback, the commission appointed Roy Johnson, better known in wrestling circles as Tiger Roy, as Spokane's new promoter. Though Johnson had never promoted before, he had wrestled in the city back in 1933. Now, it was his time to reignite Spokane's wrestling scene. Excitement filled the air as Spokane prepared for its first wrestling event in nearly 4 years. On April 4, 1945, at the 161st Infantry Armory, wrestling was set to return. The main event? Chief Thunderbird versus Lieutenant Bud Higgins in a classic 2 out of 3 falls match. The turnout wasn't record-breaking, but it was a success. The crowd was one of the largest in the venue's history, proving that Spokane was ready to embrace wrestling once again. However, the road to revival wasn't without hardship. Just 1 week later, on April 11th, tragedy struck. Square deal. Hybert wrestled his final match, sustaining an injury that ended his career. A somber reminder of the risks that came with the sport. In May 1945 brought another shake-up. Thomas "Hat" Freeman, the man who had helped push for wrestling's return, resigned as the Eastern Washington Athletic Commissioner. Meanwhile, Roy Johnson's final event, a boxer versus wrestler match between Spokane's own Tiger Jack Fox and Chief Thunderbird, ended in a draw, leaving fans divided and uncertain about the sport's future. As Johnson stepped away from promoting, Freeman took matters into his own hands. On May 28th, he officially returned as Spokane's wrestling promoter. Freeman, originally from Corfu, Greece, had traveled the world before making Spokane his home. His deep knowledge of wrestling and the industry made him the perfect leader for this new era. Freeman's first show on June 1, 1945, was another step in the right direction. Wrestling moved from the Armory to Gonzaga Stadium in July, reflecting the sport's growing popularity. The presence of world-renowned wrestlers like Jim Londos and Maurice Tillet only added to Spokane's wrestling prestige. August 14th marked a historic moment. Maurice Tillet, also known as the French Angel, made his third Spokane appearance to face Celie Samara, drawing a crowd of 1,500 at the Gonzaga Stadium. Wrestling was now more than just a sport. It was an escape, a community event that brought people together. But Freeman wasn't done making history. His final show of the season headlined a rare spectacle: Women's World Champion Mildred Burke versus Rose Evans. At a time when women's wrestling was often overlooked, this match signified a step forward, reflecting the shifting social landscape of the 1940s. But just as quickly as wrestling had returned, it faced an unexpected obstacle. Bad weather forced the postponement of the September 4th event, and an even bigger blow came when Washington's state government banned professional sporting events in armories. The season abruptly ended, leaving Spokane wrestling fans with an uncertain future. As Spokane's love for wrestling grew, so did its ambitions. On September 14th, it was announced that the city would construct a 6,000-seat coliseum, a monumental move that hinted at a bright future for professional wrestling in the area. The wrestling revival of 1945 was more than just a return of a sport. It was a reflection of a community rebuilding itself in the aftermath of war. The resilience of Spokane's wrestling promoters, wrestlers, and fans laid the foundation for the city's future in professional wrestling. This was only the beginning. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Spokane's wrestling history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And stay tuned for the next chapter in the Matt Chronicles.